Welcome back. Walking the footsteps of Jewish life in pre-war Poland, a small town between Krakow and Warsaw has become the first Jewish open-air museum in Europe. And we are here with this fantastic woman who is the brains behind this new facility. Please welcome Ruchele Leah Kesselman of the Kesselman Museum. Hello and welcome to the show.
Shalom.
And it's nice to have you here in Israel.
Thank you for receiving me.
So I know you're originally from France. This whole idea has to do with kind of your background, and your family comes from this region.
Right. My father was from Radomsko. He was born there in 21, and so he was 18 years old when the war began, and he spent 28 months under the ground in the forest. He saved his family, his parents, little sister, little brother, and first wife. And so after those 28 months living in a prehistorical conditions under the ground, 7 months after the war, 2 Poles killed my grandmother and my father's little sister in their house. So this is why they decided to go away from Poland. And the idea was to join the older sister in Argentina. She was there since 32. And on the way, my father's first wife got pregnant in Paris. So they had to stay. The rest of the family went to Argentina, and my father and first wife stayed in Paris. And to make it very short, 20 years later, my father met my mom. They felt madly in love, and 7 years later,
here you are.
I'm here. And so, of course, to have born in 75, it was a good time. It was the right moment for the Holocaust survivors to begin to speak. Besides, when they were 20, 30 years old, they were always on the road making business and so on. They didn't have time, and also the trauma was too short, you know.
Too raw, too
right,
fresh, yes.
To say to the children. But to us, the children that they had much later with younger women, it was another situation by that time.
Right.
And so I grew up with all the stories of my father. I was 4 or 5 years old already when my father told me. And it was not frightening at all, because when you have such a brave man, you know, he was 60 years old when I was 6.
Family.
Exactly. And besides, even if he was saying, I buried my father with my own hands, you would see his hands, and you know that if he's here today with you and make you dance and make fun with you and so on, you know that everything is possible. So I never made any nightmare at all, because everything was open. It was taught.
Being raised with this feeling of anything is possible.
Fantastic.
How did this become possible? So I mean, this is amazing. First open air Jewish museum in all of Europe.
Yes,
so
in the world probably.
Probably.
So how it began? Well, knowing all that, I created, after Kippat Barzel, that happened here in Israel a few years ago, I decided to create an organization for people like me. It means for the young children of Holocaust survivors. It's called Yidele Memory. And His Excellency Avi Pazner became immediately a member of honor. I'm very thankful to him, because he's a super efficient member of honor until today. And many other people, also the Chief Rabbi of Poland, etc. So actually my father taught me the hate and the fear of the Poles. And I said that I will never ever go to Poland. But after I opened, exactly, and after I opened this organization, well, Avi Pazner made me meet with his best friend Eli Wiesel, Zichrono Levracha, and in New York I also meet with Stephen Smith, the director of the Spielberg Foundation, who came from Los Angeles, and both during the same week they asked me, have you been to Poland? And amazingly, both of them told me. I said no, and I will never go, right, because of the drama of my family. And they said to me, you know, it's pity, you should go now, because later it will be too late to meet with people who could have known your family, and you should go now.
Wow.
Showing them watch. 3 days of interval. So I thought, okay, the message is very clear. 4 days later, I was in Poland, and what I discovered there was absolutely amazing. On the first day, first of all, when I saw the panel, Radomsko, which is so big, all my fear and my hate suddenly went out.
Wow.
And I thought the only few words that I knew in Polish, jestem w domu, I'm home. And when I entered in Radomsko, I discovered such a charming city. Really so beautiful, and with cachet, still with the cachet of that time. Nothing moved. It's exactly the same, probably like my father knew his city. So I really felt that I was walking in their steps. Also, Akadosh Baruch Hu put so many amazing good people on my way. So I had only a good feeling.
So this is why you know it's a divine
different
mission.
time.
So tell me quickly before we run out of time. So how do people get a chance to go and take part in this experience?
So they should contact me through the museum website, www.kesselman-museum-radomsko.
We'll put it in a place that's easier for people to find.
And so we should form groups of 30 to 40 people. And then we can visit Radomsko all together to see all the Jewish buildings in...
Wow, what a beautiful
You see, this is the map. And there are 60 buildings to discover. It means, it doesn't say that you will meet where was Mr. Cohen, Mr. Rosenberg. No, all the Jewish institutions. It means the Kakal, where was the Kakal, where was the Vidzo, where was Istadrut, the Apoel, Akoach, all the Jewish institutions, all the synagogues and so on. It's like if you are in the book of Bashevis Singer, then you really walk there in Radomsko.
Wow,
and you discover all the Jewish life.
Thank you so much. It's really beautiful, and it's so great to see your passion being realized. So
thank you so much for hosting
What a way
me.
to keep a legacy alive of your family.
Yes.